Welcome to part two of the school to prison pipeline. And that school to prison pipeline for me started in elementary school because that's where I first started hearing you gonna end up in jail from teachers. And that's when I started seeing some of my classmates being taken out of class and put in behavior disorder classes and stigmatized as having learning disabilities and behavior disorders by teachers that were imported from outside of our community who were used to different type of students who were with different types of backgrounds than the backgrounds of the kids in public school with me. And it is when they diagnosed me with something that was brand new to the world called ADHD, and that's attention deficit hyperactive disorder, because they were comparing the test of the kids that they were taking tests on and comparing their behavior to the same age group but different ethnicity and different race. Since these black kids were acting different than their counterparts, white counterparts, then let's put them on medication and dope and get them to where they think that they cannot operate without it. And they did, like I said in the first video, prescribed me with Ritalin and Discipramine, and it was terrible. Like I couldn't even function because the drugs they had me on had me so numb and buzzed and throbbed out to where I'm not even like in class for real. And so, but I never lacked in my grades as far as reading and writing and learning English and things of that nature. I've had a high IQ since a very young age. Not to brag, but going through, I also went to juvenile when I was in first grade for having a fight with this girl in my class. That's when I first entered the juvenile court system. It was down when it was down on Vanderbilt. And later on in my life, in 1994, I would go into the DYS system, where they sent me to a facility that was pretty much out of state. It was like by like 25 minutes away from the Iowa border. And there were kids, teens there from all over the country. And I was able to get released in 1995, right after Big Michi got shot in the foot, in the ankle, I mean. And I got home and I quickly got back into the flow of things as far as hustling, hanging out with the homeboys and various other things. And it was a wild ride. 1995 is when I got out. 1996, I was a part of a drug deal that went south, that went bad. Someone ended up getting shot, and I was charged with first-degree assault, armed criminal action. they couldn't charge me with a robbery because the items that were taken were illegal contraband. And he told them the whole story about what was going on, but he reversed it on me and said that I was trying to rob him for the illicit contraband. I was sentenced to 15 years in prison, 85%, meaning I have mandatory 12 years, 9 months before I could even think about being paroled. At 17, I'm being sentenced to 15. I was like, man, if you take that backwards, I'll be 2 years old. Like, I'm barely just 15 myself, and you giving me 15 years in prison. I couldn't believe it, man. I had to write my own motion to withdraw a guilty plea. I wrote it in pencil. The judge never read it. She just denied it. She just held it up in court and said, I got your motion. I received your motion to withdraw your guilty plea, and I'm going to deny it. And so I was on the list to get transferred to the Diagnostic Reception Center, which was Fulton at the time. And so began my prison journey. And I told you about my first day in prison on part 1. Okay, part 2, I will detail the life of prison behind the walls. We had kind of a mantra that when you wake up and come out your cell, before you go back in your cell, when you come back in, you're supposed to have more than what you came out with. I mean, you accomplished something for the day. Even if you went to the law library and you learned a new law about your case or somebody close to you case, you can help them out. And in the walls, there were a lot of ex-Black Panthers and people that were a part of various revolutionary movements. And to get the youngsters to learn history and Black history and about themselves and their history, they used to put together contests with a prize where they have all the questions like what happened on August 19th, 1892 in Charlottesville, North Carolina. Like, who is Bobby Seale? What day was Jonathan Jackson assassinated, killed? What day did George Jackson die on? Who's the author of Blood in My Eye? Who's the author of Soledad Brothers? And whoever scored the most points on the test, you will probably win like $65 in commissary. And that was like the only way some people was even going to the libraries to learn, to try to win the money. And that is where the library is where I learned a lot about law, maritime law, peacetime law, civil rights, legislation, state legislation, different mandatory minimums, and the rules of the court, and that they must abide by to prove guilt. Everywhere I've been, even when I was in Pekin Federal Correctional Institution, Pekin FCI, that's a Fed joint. When I was there, I stayed in the library and with the guys, and we went over case law and tried to find different precedents that we could use for their case to help them get out from under whatever sentence they were serving. And I'm kind of glad I went through like the walls, because I had a lot of big brothers there, and it was more like, to me, it wasn't even like being alive, it was more like college in a way, as far as the knowledge, learning that I did those years that I served in behind the walls. I saw a number of stabbings. I was involved in a few riots throughout my penitentiary journey through prison. I've been in multiple fights and physical altercations. I even had to go on a food strike for 7 days because I thought that the administration was trying to kill me in some type of slick way. So I stopped eating that food for 7 days. Then they tried to put me on suicide watch because I wouldn't eat. And I was in a dry cell because they said I had contraband on me. The yard dogs, they ran up to my housing unit, and when they came in the unit, they hit the steps, and I was upstairs in an upstairs cell. Then they came straight to my room. I had contraband. I was selling drugs at the time, and I didn't have enough time to close the bag properly. And I tried to stuff it, and I didn't push it all the way in, so some plastic was hanging out of your what they call it, your prison pocket, prison purse. But I didn't have no problem with that. I mean, I didn't, if they tell me to squat and cough, not in the world of anyone ever squatting and coughing has any contraband ever been found. Like, he coughed and then something fell out. That's not gonna happen. But when he did ask me to squat, when I squatted, you could see the plastic hanging out of my anus. And they took me to a cell where I was watched by a guard and a camera. I was on surveillance for under 24 hours, constant surveillance. Toilet didn't work. I wasn't left alone. They used to come in and take my mattress from 11 o'clock to 6 a.m. They would take my mattress, and I had to sleep on the bench. No blanket, no sheet, nothing else, nothing. Just the video camera surveillance. That was like the worst time I had. And I kept having to use the bathroom, because they had a rule, you use the bathroom 7 times, and then you could, there's no contraband is found, they release you out of that cell. And I passed stool 7 times without no contraband being found. And so I filed against the officer who wrote me up, saying that he lied because no contraband was ever found. I mean, I hid it. I had it hid pretty good, and I was able to get to it while I was in that cell. And they never checked the footage on the camera. They came and let me out. I was happy. And everybody was like, man, how did you, how did you not get caught with that? And like I said, it just wasn't meant to be. But if you, I'm gonna say this too, if you in the streets, man, doing anything, breaking any type of laws, understand that when you break the law, police and arrest, jail and prison and court dates come with that. So if you get caught, know what you doing and what you in for. Don't go out like Big Screech. Keep your mouth closed. ask for a lawyer. And matter of fact, just get out the streets because there's no winning. It's no winning, man. Ain't nobody gonna have no run like Big Screech or what's the dude name, the American Gangster. Ain't nobody gonna have no run like that no more. Them days are over with, so just give it up. Get back in the house, man. Get you something solid that's gonna is gonna be paying you to take care of your family, man. Some for sure income to take care of your family. I mean, I know I got a lot of partners, man, that's probably watching this that's riding around doing whatever they do. I mean, I believe that you can use your brain power and come up with a better idea than what you're doing if you in the streets running around breaking laws, making your own laws and so and whatnot. Chill out, man. Look at what's going on. You got billionaires putting themselves in positions of power over the country. And they say it's money, power, and respect. Them guys will never get respect, but they got all the money already. And now they getting in power. So I don't know what's next. Maybe they replace the respect with something else like slavery or something. Money, power, and slavery. Or whatever they want, whatever their end game is. I don't know. Once you get all that money, you got you worth $500 billion. And you want to be the secretary or something of the United States. You got Trump just buddying with these dudes. He a rich dude already. And what are these guys up to, man? You better keep your eye on that because America is good for distracting you and tricking you, showing you this hand while this hand doing something else over here. So you better stay woke. I love everybody, man. Peace and blessings to everybody. That's what I'm all like.